Hi, I'm going to be talking about my lesson plan for an 11th grade social studies class. Um, I would have shown this in the class I'm teaching it, but I am currently a long-term substitute in a 5th grade class. So it doesn't really make sense to do this for them, even though I do want to teach high school going forward. So I created this lesson plan, but unfortunately, I'm not really able to do it in the classroom. So here I am at my house instead. Um, but I will pretend like I'm starting, and there's a nice blackboard behind me, but obviously there's not in real life here. So, without further ado, here is my pre-assessment plan for my lesson. All right, class. In today's lesson, we will be discussing the different positions on slavery at the eve of the Civil War. We are going to be reading two separate speeches, one by Frederick Douglass, who was a free slave and an anti-slavery activist, and the other is a speech that Abraham Lincoln gave at New Haven about a year before the Civil War began. After we are done reading these speeches, your table groups will be creating a news broadcast in the style of a post-State of the Union broadcast, where there will be commentary on both speeches and arguments for both for and against what each person had to say. So if you guys can remember, what happens after these State of the Union addresses, they cut away to, Fox News or something, and they have news correspondents, and one person is discussing the speech. They say what was good about it, what was bad about it, and we'll be doing that with our group. So you guys are going to have to come up with people who are pro Lincoln speech, for example, and others who are anti it, and then the same thing for the Frederick Douglass case. So you're going to have people who are for Frederick Douglass speech and those who are against it. So it should be pretty fun and an exciting class. But before we get started, I want to kind of see what you guys know about the Civil War and kind of why it started and what the reasons were behind it. So we are going to be creating a 3-column chart. So in your table groups, one member of the table will be a recorder, and that person is going to be writing down the answers of the other students. And we will go over these answers as a class when we're all said and done and kind of discuss them and talk about what was right or maybe wrong about it. But I don't want you guys to feel like there are wrong answers right now. I want you guys to come up and think of the different reasons why. So this chart will consist of 3 columns. The first one being the Southern states' view on slavery before the Civil War. The second is the Northern states' views on slavery before the Civil War. And the third being Abraham Lincoln's position on slavery before the start of the Civil War. So it'll look something like this when you guys draw it all out. You can see there's a southern part, northern, and then Lincoln. And what I want you guys to do in your groups is when it's your turn, you're going to state a reason, for example, why southern states or what their view on slavery was before the Civil War. Were they for it, against it, and then give kind of reasons why. Why do they think that? Same thing about the North. You can give reasons why or what the northern states thought or believed in about slavery. And also we need something about Lincoln. What did Abraham Lincoln believe about slavery? Was he for it or against it? And remember, this is before the start of the Civil War. And we will learn more and more about this as we go on, but it's an important jumping off point. So we can kind of see where the country was at this time period. It's not as cut and dry as maybe we are here thinking now, all these years later. So remember, each member of your group needs to give 2 answers. And when you tell the recorder what to write, also tell them what column that it needs to go in. So if you're talking about Southern, you say, okay, in the Southern column, X, Y, and Z, or this is what they believed in, or this is why they believed in it, and so on and so forth for each one of these. The idea here is to get as many reasons/answers as possible. And right now, this isn't really a time to debate or discuss these ideas, but it's simply to record them, and then you're going to move on to the next student. So I don't want one person giving a reason, and then, your partner, oh, that's wrong. What are you talking about? This is not the right. That's not what we're doing right now. Right now, I just want to see what you guys think and what you guys know about this. After we're done, we'll kind of pull it all together. We'll talk about all of these things as a class. So we will debate and discuss these answers then, and I will be able to kind of go over what maybe was the right answers or what kind of were most of the state's thinking. And again, this is a fairly broad topic. Obviously, not every single person, for example, who lived in Virginia had the same thoughts and views on slavery, but we're talking about kind of the overall general feelings and thoughts on it. So get together as a group, start writing things down, and I'll give you about 5 or 10 minutes to do this, and we'll reconvene as a class. All right, get started.